Yo, what is up everybody, and welcome back to another Limelight video. And today we're not going to be building, but we are going to the Book Nook made by my good friend Levi Morris, which if you don't know him yet, you guys should go check out his channel. There's going to be 2 links down below. Now I know you have many questions, and some of them might be, what is the Book Nook? And let me tell you, it's a bookstore that sells books, but it is also something hidden in there. What that is, I have no idea, but I do have a theory of what is inside. Now, going into this Book Nook, I know that Levi has made something similar to this before, which is called the waiting room, which we will see a little reference to it, which is included into my little theory. Now, I also know that there's rewards if you're able to solve or find the secret of the Book Nook. Hopefully it's diamonds, but but knowing me, I know I'm not gonna be able to get very far, into this. But once I saw this little, like balcony or second area, it caught my eye. There's also a sign there that says cauldron, lectern, lever, and bookcase. I go up anyways, and I found a sign that pretty much says there's something on the back of this sign. Now, when I read this, I thought, is there really something behind this sign? Trying to jump around and see if I can sneak my way to see if there's anything actually behind it. I'm like, it's impossible for anything to be behind this sign. Unless there is, and I'm just missing it, But we do come back here a few more times. Not this specific area, but downstairs. But as soon as I went downstairs, I found another sign, which says, the answer is close, but further away. Now, the obvious thing to think about is that's clearly a sign, right? Get it? Of saying that there's nothing in this specific wall. That's what it truly meant. Now, when I walked in, I do want to say that I did notice that there's some redstone lamps that are on. There's a lever to the side, and there's also an amethyst right there as well. Everything's got to tied up together. Now, just keep those in mind. At the very end, those will be included into my little theory. But let's see what the sign says. It says, remember the waiting room. Now, I talked about it a little bit, about Levi making the waiting room. So I'm 100% sure that this bookstore is either one of two things. Either one, there's nothing in here and it was just all a goose chase. Or two, there's actually something here valuable. But right next to this sign, there was another one that says, are the lamps on behind the amethyst? Now, we know at this point that they are on, right? We know that, which is telling us that that's actually something that we need to be looking out for. Because I'm assuming it's more like a timer kind of thing. When the lights are on, you have a better chance of finding different clues, I think. If the lights are off, well, you're gonna have to wait until they turn back on. But moving along, we found another sign. Now, there's many signs in this bookstore that makes a lot of sense and a lot of clues are giving. But this one specifically, I don't know what it truly means. Now, there is a door at the beginning of the bookstore that leads somewhere. Now, I don't know if you're supposed to go in. I'm assuming it's like a storage area. I don't know. But this is a bookstore. This is a business. I don't want to, look at something or be in somewhere that I'm not supposed to. So we're not going to go in. But you know what? We found another sign. Yeah. More reading, man. More reading. Sign says, mangrove signs hold semi-truth. Signs out there that says, don't trust this kind of sign. Don't trust this sign. But we're going to ignore that and we're going to actually listen to every single sign. Now we're at a point where things get a little more confusing. 3 white candles is a bit too much. Now there's quite a few pairs of 3 white candles, and I'll explain this a little bit later. So we know that's a clue, right? Well, here's another one. I crafted a lectern. Where did I leave it? Now there's a bunch of them in this bookstore. Obviously it's a bookstore, right? There's gotta be some lecterns. But what I didn't know was there was a few of them that had some books. And I'm gonna tell you right now, guys, by the time that I noticed editing this video, it was pretty much at the end, right before I gave up, trying to find this big secret or reward. Can't even lie to you guys. The raw footage of this entire video, it's like 38 minutes and 15 seconds. And here's a screenshot to prove that I'm not even lying. Now remember, we're looking for a cauldron, a lectern. We're looking for a lever. We're looking for a bookcase, which under this sign, there is a cauldron, there. But after going around twice, looking at all the signs, to this corner over here, looks a little suspicious, don't it? I mean, out of all 4 corners, this is the only one that has more into it. Why is that? A secret, perhaps? But what I did notice was a sign that says, I thought I heard parrots somewhere. Now, going back to the waiting room, I don't know when, I think it was towards the end of season 2 of Limelight, where Levi pretty much exposed that it was parrots that were hidden in the waiting room. Unless that's the only thing I can remember. There's a sign that talks about parrots, which tells me there's gotta be parrots somewhere in this bookstore. Where? Well, I have an idea where they might be. But first, let's get into more signs. Yes, that's right. There's more signs in this bookstore. Now, I didn't know I was going to have to read a bunch of signs that could pretty much be the same length as a Harry Potter book. To the point that when I was in school and I was trying to read them, they were the same size as my little head. Coral, chiseled, amethyst, candles. Now, there's only one coral. At least think that's the only one. The chiseled, pretty sure they're all over this place. Which tells me there's some books in a bookshelf somewhere that has valuable information, right? So the logic thing to do is to start spamming every single bookcase to find a single book. And I'll tell you what. I did find one going all the way back to the beginning to where that sign says there's something behind this sign. That's right. There was a book there the entire time on the top left corner that says Trigger 6 put a 7-page book inside the lectern in front of the crafting table. Must activate trigger 4 as well. But now we know there's at least 6 triggers at this point in time. Now, upon reading this, found this sign that says looking for the office. Now, remember when we talked about that little area that looks a little suspicious? Well, I think there's an office under there. Now, why, you may ask? Well, there's a sign that gives me, like a brain blast.
Oh, come on, Neutron! Do one of your brain blast deals! Funny monkey.
Because a lot of stuff is focusing in that specific area. I mean, you got a sign that says buy the brown candles. Now, to me, I don't think that's really important unless there's something, buy the brown candles, which, I don't think I ever seen one unless I'm just really blind.
Oh, no, I ain't seen nothing. I ain't seen nothing. Matter of fact, I'm blind in my left eye and 43% blind in my right eye. I don't see much of nothing. As a matter of fact, I can't even see you.
I mean, obviously, because those lecterns have some books and I just didn't see them. Makes sense, right? I'm wearing glasses. So, I guess I'm more blind than I thought. But here's another one that confused me a little, which it says, fill the brim when the lights are full. Build what to the brim? Like, what are you talking about? What are we doing here, man? Now, a little bit further to the left, we found another sign that says in line with the azalea. Trust me, it would all make sense a little bit because we got even more clues, which says how to grow a cactus. Eye close at the blossom, which, again, that's like almost a big giveaway of where to look, in my opinion, because this sign over here says, can you put items in a pot? Like, how more clear can that be? You know what I mean? Now, the only pot that I can think of is, oh yeah, the one next to that little suspicious area that we talked about so many times now. And guess what? It has an azalea leaves. And guess what? It has a cactus on it. I mean, that whole area is just blazing hot right now. I mean, if we were playing hot and cold, it's pure lava. You know what I mean?
You ever wonder what happens when you mix hot lava and chicken? I did, and you're about to find out. You hear that? That's the sound of sizzling. Smell that smell. La 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 lava, chicken. Steve's lava chicken, yeah, it's tasty as hell. Ooh, mamacita, now you're ringing the bell. Crispy and juicy, now you're having a stack. Ooh, super spicy, it's a lava attack.
There's a sign that says fill the dark oak to the brim. Again, what are we feeling, man? What are we supposed to do? I'm so, my brain is not understanding. Now, right next to it, we found another sign that says just right under the amethyst. But there's one where, you know, I said it so many times now, and we're back at this corner. Now with all the clues that we have, I mean, it's kind of, you know, like I said, there's something going on in this corner, man. Because we got the amethyst right there. We got the lectern right there with a book. We got 3 white candles right there as well. We got a cherry blossom slapping right there in a pot. I mean, we got that pot with the azalea leaves and the cactus. I mean, this whole area, bro. I'm telling you, there's something in this area. Now let's start with trigger number 1. At least what I think is trigger number 1. As soon as you walk into the store, you turn to the right, walk by past the little balconies, little section, and look at the left. I believe that's one trigger. Why? Because it's close to those redstone lamps, which one of the signs said are the lamps on behind the amethyst. That giveaway, right? So that's trigger number 1. Trigger number 2 is this lever, and the reason I'm saying this is because right under it there's a Progu in a pot, which found a book during this little thing, depowered the Progu. This is why I believe this lever is trigger number 2. Now remember that sign that had all those things listed, the bookcase, the lever, the quadrant, you know that sign. And yeah, this is the only one that's here. It's the only quadrant. I know I'm saying it weird. I'm just, I'm trying to be funny here. But this is the only place that has it. So I think, I don't know if you're supposed to take the water out or throw something in it, but I think this is trigger number 3. Now trigger number 4, we talked about it a little bit already. This pot. Why? Because there's also a sign that says, can items go inside the pot? Now, there's also another sign that said something about cactus growing or something like that, right? Guess what? There's a cactus in the pot and there's some azalea leaves. Like, hello? Obviously, that's trigger number 4. Now, trigger number 5 is, well, my only evidence for this being a trigger is basically the sign that's above it that names coral, chiseled, amethyst. So I believe there's something with this coral. Either you remove it or you throw it into something or put it inside a barrel or something right around this area. I'm really not sure. This is like the one that I'm really not 100% sure that it's a trigger, but it's like, it's a little suspicious. Now trigger number 6. Now, even though there's a lectern right there to the right that has a book, I'm thinking maybe the other lectern needs a book. Now, I'll leave you guys with this. I believe there's parrots somewhere in this bookstore. Why? The reference to the waiting room. The sign right there that talks about the parrots. But at the end of the day, this is my little theory, and I believe that the rewards are going to be just parrots dancing. That's right. I believe because this is super similar to the waiting room, but it holds the same purpose. Parrots dancing to music. And don't worry, next episode we are building, so we're going to be back into the island. This was just a short little break. Anyways, stay safe. Peace.
Reload the vibe, let it ignite, stacking stories in the night. In the limelight, here we stand, crafting magic block by